everyone. Hello, David. Fantastic to have you with us. And Kay and Stephen. And I know so many people who've come along. Welcome. It's the Wednesday Wellbeing session. Just getting lost and focused. Eric, fantastic to have you here as well. An absolute must. I think you've been the most loyal. Well, Stephen's been here every time too, pretty much. Pretty impressive. I'm really glad that it's been helpful. So just encouraging that time out together. These films are all dedicated to my colleagues at UCH and patients, but they're very much for everybody, and it's fantastic to have your support. And from just a patient asking me to learn origami and pass it on has been such a journey, and it's lovely to pass on that care. I was asked to learn to pass on to others, and that's what I encourage others to do as well. And it's been great to hear others like Honey as well. I know she's not here today, but she's encouraging others with origami too, and so it spreads in a very positive way. Welcome, Deborah. Fantastic to have you here as well. So yeah, the last couple of months I have been experimenting lots, and I think of it, hello Honey, as like little islands that there are so many possibilities for folding paper, and particularly for these more kind of kind of maths, physics sort of shapes, that it's about nature. And so it's about just what works. And so a little less than the animals, which I think are a lot more unique to the person. But these, I think, they're things that anyone could find. And in a way, I think of them as little islands, and it's just whether you happen to visit them or not. So it may be that other people have found these things, it may not. But most of all, it's about the discovery, and it's a discovery for you too. I really like one definition of creativity, because I really wondered quite early on, about origami and creativity. Clearly, if you're designing your own, it's creative, but is it the same folding your own piece? It's with input from others. And a definition I really liked was creativity involves creating something, which is we will create something, and it's something that's new to you, but not new to the world. I think that's really important, actually, because what I'm encouraging is a new experience for you, something that you haven't done before. And that always takes courage. And that's where the sense of achievement is. It's a new discovery. In that way, it is your creation. You've actually had to make it happen. And I think that's why origami feels very personal. The pieces that you create, it's special to you and it has meaning to you. Thank you, Eric. Much appreciated. So yeah, it's something I've often pondered. And I think it's almost the same as well, that I encourage that sense of achievement for yourselves, because actually, even somebody else has designed it, it's still your achievement, and to never let anybody take that away from you. And so always feel that sense of your own achievement. So anyway, so we've got Leafy Reef as named by a very good friend of mine and my origami colleague Zule, who is amazing, and she's been designing lots of her own, and just how much it's helped her through her life as well, since learning as a child. And and she believed that I would be able to find things. So I've been just giving myself that chance. And it's involved for me, actually, just not looking at others, just trying to play. So this is one, and she said, oh, I like the leafy one. So I've called this the Leafy Reef. And it's a nice little shape, and it's kind of quite secure too. It's interesting because it's different colours on different sides as well. I like the different patterns. It's fairly secure, because I have to say quite a few of mine do fall apart easily, and you start to understand the value of quite secure folds. So it'll be a pleasure to share this. It's very simple, actually, so that's the good news. Next week, little sneaky preview for next week, I will share with you this, I'm calling it a sweet wild strawberry, and I was playing with the lily, which is where I started origami, traditional lily, and I sort of slightly mutated the lily and didn't know where it was going to go, and it took me to a strawberry, which is a surprise. And I've been enjoying colouring and folding that way. So that'll be next week. So next week, sorry, just to let you all know, different next week. Next week will be midday, so it'll be at 12 o'clock, not 2 o'clock. Sorry, everyone. I have got a family commitment, and I thought, actually, I do need to put my own family first too. So so I'm doing something else at 2. So if we can make it midday, if you're free at midday, please join me. But I guess, oh, excellent, Eric. It's a more tricky one, Eric, but it's been lovely. I've recently shared it with some nurses. They loved it because it was so challenging. They found it really focused them. So yeah, exactly. It is. And even actually the choice of paper, I agree, Stephen, it is your own individual expression too. And you put a lot of time and care into it. That always has meaning. Brilliant. Oh, welcome, Adrienne, as well. Lovely to have you here. Wow, so many people. This is brilliant. Wow, gosh, what's going on? That's good. So we are going to, yes, it is open at the top, actually, Marnie. So it looks good from the side, but in some ways it's quite intriguing. There is. It's like a little room in there. So because the other origami strawberry, which is really loved, isn't it? I found it quite square and you blow into it to expand it. This is actually, oh, that's a good idea. Putting your finger in and opening it up that way. It's definitely trickier. I think it'd be a very hard one for children to make, for example, but it's quite nice and round and curvaceous. Yeah, although the top's quite wide, Eric, but I was thinking maybe doing it big and having it like a little strawberry lantern. It's made me feel very summery when, to be honest, the weather has not been summery. Oh, no problem, Deborah. I hope that goes well. Yes, it'll be midday next week, but you know it's always recorded, so even if you've forgotten, try to tune in at 2, you'd find it's already there, so that's all right. So for this piece, Leafy Reef, it's 8 pieces, so I happen to use different colours here. I'm going to show you, as I have here, 2 different tones. So we'll make 2 squares. As you know, I show you from really basic materials, so because I figure, oh yes, that would be great, wouldn't it? Strawberry lights forever. Strawberries are my favourite fruit as a child, so it was a special meaning, strawberries. Right, so I am going to show you, as I said, just 2 tones because it'll help with it. So this is one A4 piece of paper, in effect, torn in half, and I am going to make a square out of each and then divide them up. So if you have, this is basically 15 by 15 centimetre paper, which is the kind of good standard origami paper. So if you have that, I would recommend that you take 2 pieces and split them into 4. I'm going to get rid of the rectangle, turning it over and bringing it back, lining it all up with a good strong fold, and then you'll be able to gently tear that off. Fantastic to receive a latest copy of the British Origami Society magazine. Thank you so much, Stephen. You put in so much time and care into that. That's amazing. That'll be such a historical piece, won't it? All these issues, a real record of the community there. So we're going to split this into 4. So folding it in half. I know at the moment Honey's teaching others. I don't know what she's doing, but that's great. So she's been doing lots of wonderful things too. Also encouraging that playful response. And I think Margaret said that she's been experimenting. That's brilliant. Inspired by this fold, which is absolutely fantastic to hear. Really happy if this can encourage others to also get experimenting. Passing it on to you, and yeah, see what emerges. And any of these folds you are welcome to pass on to others too. I see that I have pushed myself to invent because I just want to be able to give freely. To me, that's what it's about. Right, I'm going to fold that in half. And again, excellent. There we go. So all I'm going to do is 8 matching squares. And I've got the 2 tones just because it will help, I think, to see. Otherwise, it's a little bit tricky. A week after the strawberry, I'm thinking of the sampan, which David was inspired by you, which actually I hadn't done it before. It is such an intriguing fold, so I thought that could be summary. So yeah, next week for me, midday, the fold. The week after that, I'm afraid I won't be here. I will finally see my own parents in person after, it must be more than a year and a half. So it's December 2019 I saw my parents last, so going to them for a week at last. Go see them. I just hope we're all okay. Rates are really going up, particularly here in Oxford, but across the country. have to say, I think it'll be a very anxious time for a lot of people. This relaxation can be just the opposite sometimes. Yeah, I mean, mask is all about looking after others. You can't, you're doing your best to be responsible for others. It's very, yeah. I think I need to practice a lot before it got me this time. Anyway, so I thought a little boat, and you could then go and sail it on the river or pond or sea. If you can, make your own little holiday. We were thinking of travelling to Scotland, but the rates are the highest in Europe. So, yeah, it doesn't feel a good idea. Anyway, sorry, we're in relaxation space, so that doesn't help. But I hope you managed to have 8 little squares. So those nice 15 by 15 split into 4. Excellent. Oh, yes, the open one, I've attempted to do a roof, but I've realised I've probably done it different to yours, David. I've just done it vaguely from memory. So my apologies if it's different. And I have explained that we all do our own things. So, but it is all inspired by you. So I hope that's okay. That's true, Eric. I did actually. I was born in Scotland and grew up there. I often think in a Scottish accent when I'm back there. So for each of your pieces, folding them in half, so having a diagonal. Let's do that for all of them first. That's it. Yeah. I guess I did like the idea, David, of the sampan with using a rectangle. I just actually the other day ran a session as part of a new project to encourage families and children. It's been a very difficult time for their mental health, and was doing an online session. Certainly realised how hard that can be for children, but actually even as we're doing with making our own squares, that's quite hard. So any fold using a rectangle is a real advantage actually. So all I'm doing is folding them in half. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, Stephen. It is really scary. Yes, you know. Oh, yes. Well, yeah, let's hope. I don't think it's a good strategy to let a virus spread. I really don't. What a contrast to China, where you can repress it, control it, but it's just feels like a giving up, which isn't a good idea. Yeah, be really careful, because I think it is less safe now, and yeah, obviously the more people get vaccine the better, but we've had a 5-fold increase in a week in Oxford. It's suddenly kind of purple plague. In effect, it's 5th worst city now. It'll be young people mixing, but I mean in India that can, yeah, we've seen children dying, so we just don't know for sure. Hopefully they'll be okay, but I think not to risk it with this virus. So our next move is to take, we're going to do like a little halfway point. Yeah, so I'm going to take it and fold it up like this. That's right, so a little pinch there. So I'm doing that halfway line. Oh, exactly, one day at a time. Yeah, it's just that frustration, isn't it? Being told it's your, that you should be, that we should all take our own responsibility, which of course we're doing. We're doing our very best. But actually, when you wear a mask, you're looking after others. It's not so much yourself. And if everybody's doing that, then we are looking after each other. And that is responsibility. Whereas, unfortunately, you can't just keep yourself completely safe. You are dependent on your whole society. It's so obvious. Yeah, I hope Junid's okay too. I guess we shouldn't be complaining because we've got vaccines, but I think it's a really bad strategy for the world to let a virus spread new variants. Sorry, this is meant to be relaxing. Right, so let's get back to our origami. Let's get back to the lovely concentration. So bottom corner, we're going to bring up to that middle point. Yeah, yes, good idea, Eric. Yeah, I mean, it will clearly help a bit, but it is about thinking of others, so it's just not that simple, is it? Oh, Adrian. Yeah, I am too. And actually the thought now of going onto public transport, people don't have to wear a mask. What? That feels incredibly stressful. it's not right, and it's not that inconvenient. Nobody likes wearing a mask. I don't like it, but I do it because it's the right thing, and it's not that inconvenient. Bottom line, we're going to bring to the middle. So you sort of have to keep this closed or it will slip. And I'm keeping it to that middle line. So it doesn't look that straight, does it? Definitely a nice good one on concentration. That's probably all we need. So it was, so what I did was I brought the tip to the middle and then I halved it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. But I think it's almost yes, I agree, David, about if only people change. And to some extent, maybe they are. But I think, yeah, it's a kind of ideological change there. I think with the health minister, quite frankly. So we're going to turn it to the back of just it's inconvenient. It's like the flu, and it's really not. We all know that. Bottom up to the vertical line, and I think lots of people will continue to make an effort, but lots of people won't. And I think the message is so sort of reassuring to people that it's okay, it's getting better, when it's look at cases it's not. So I took the bottom and I brought it up vertically. Yeah, people I know are shaking hands now, are hugging. I mean, you know, who are old, it's pretty risky. Bottom line up to the vertical. It's certainly not something I would be doing. I don't think that's a good idea. Someone you care about actually not doing that at the moment. So it should look like this. Great. And our next, it's an interesting one. If I do it in the camera, it'll end up being a different way around. Gosh, you've had COVID and double jabbed. Your immune system should be pretty good after that. Yeah, exactly. Me too. So our next move, hopefully it looks like this, is to take one side and just fold it back. And that's your little unit. Like so. Okay, so we're going to do next one, just basically the same thing again. Diagonal, and I'm going to do the halfway line. That's brilliant, Eric. To be honest, you know, just really early on in February, people were trying to shake hands. I was refusing. I was like, it's not a good idea. And to bow or to, the kind of tie, showing that you care. I don't think shaking hands is showing you care. Bottom to the middle. I mean, it's like in a hospital, you don't shake hands because of infection control. It really is a very direct transfer, and it's just not needed. You can show that you care and that you're close to someone without having to touch them. No, I'm not keen on the elbow bump. I just think of Johnson. Sorry, this is not vertical space. But anyway, we all find whatever works for us, but being as careful as possible is a very good thing for protecting others, isn't it? That bottom again, folding up to the middle line. That's it. And it kind of looks a bit like a boat or something. Turn it to the back. Bottom, bring it up vertically. And these are it just creates nice little pockets, and then I experimented from there, really. That's it. That one up vertically. Yeah, thinking of you, Stephen, I'm definitely feel concerned. Not a lot we can do about it, is there? Again, I just make sure that you fold it the same way. So here I'm going to fold that back so it matches. So I don't know, is there a way around? But making two and rest later. Oh, good idea, Eric. Yes, I'm going to attempt to. Let's see if I can. I'm actually doing another event in about 20 minutes. Let's see how we go on. Right, keep going. So maybe if I direct the camera down, but hopefully you're getting the idea. That pinch in the middle, bottom to the middle. Maybe I'll direct it down and then I can concentrate. Hopefully you are too. And then folding over again. Hope you're getting the idea of this. It does tend to slip a bit, doesn't it, that bit? Turning around to the back. That's it. There we go. And again, doing it just so that it matches the others. I'm sure you'll soon get the hang of this. Now I'm trying to think. Yes. Sometimes it's looking into the camera then can confuse you. Right. Middle line again. How are you all getting on? I'm presuming you're getting the hang of this. Bottom to the middle, halving it. Nice little pattern. Oh, that's a good idea. But yeah, just enjoy. You know it's recorded there, so you can go back and make it. Yeah, not far off the end of term, is it? Just hoping that we all get through it all okay. Difficult time for teachers too. After such a difficult time and rates go up, it has a consequence. Seems a strange strategy to then just give up on isolation after that. Well, not quite isolation, but the bubbles. Into the unknown, hey? Yeah, day at a time. You're right, that's the best way to go. Bottom to the middle. Turning it round. I'm sure you're getting the hang of this. Some people have tried with pattern paper, but I think most people have said that they've liked it actually a plain paper because you see the structure of it a lot more. It becomes a bit confusing looking. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, David. Yeah, I love the beating heart. And I love a resource that David Petty created as well, the traditional folds. That was really lovely because it's quite hard to find where, you know, kind of compilation of that. Oh, shame he's not here. But each time we fold the heart, I do say, what a lovely thing. Somebody who invented this beautiful beating heart. We're folding it. The hands of another. It lives on. That seems a beautiful thing. Not sure how perfect these ones are. Yes, and halfway again. Nick has also said about David Petty's work. I tried to find the Rings and Reefs as a book, which looks incredibly similar cover to the I've got Tomoka Fuse's one. I'm really curious which came first. The cover is very similar, but the only copies I could see were very expensive and very hard to get hold of. So I wasn't able to get a copy. But I thought I'd just try and find my own, and if I overlap with others, it's just how it is. Otherwise, life's too complicated, and I like origami for being simple. That's it, right? I'm almost there. Wonder how you're getting on. So, turning to the back. Middle there. Middle there. And then that's it. So they should all be matching. Okay, I'm sure you'd figure out how to do this because as soon as you got a pocket, that's it. Now it's whether I do it in the camera or do it so I'm looking at it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it so I'm looking down. Otherwise my brain gets a little confused. Right. So with anything modular, I tend to take it and then just shift it on. So is that the right way to do it? As I said, my head's been a bit spinning doing that's it. So I took one and I put it in to that little slot of the next one. And it will just nicely go in, really. And then there should also be a little bit sticking out, and you can just tuck that over. So you can tuck it in there, which just helps secure it a little bit. I think that's what I did. I don't know. Yeah, probably. That's it. That's been great. And next one. And so you just keep going that way. as I said, the filming along with it does then mean, oh, am I doing it strange? That my head starts to spin a little bit. I think spatial wise. There we go. So keep going and you should end up with a nice little, oh, okay. The last fold. Thank you. Thanks for flagging that up, Eric. So where were you? We had the bottom piece and we took this and we folded it to the middle, folded it half again, then turned it to the back, took the side and brought it up vertically. The other side up vertically, like so. And then just, you can choose which side, but I just chose one side here to just fold it back out of the way. That's it. And that's your unit really. And you'll find that the next one will just plug into a pocket. I'm afraid you sort of have to do it to find out. As I said, my head can slightly spin if I'm looking at both the camera and what I'm doing. But I will do my best. So you have a go as well. Yeah, just tucking one into the next. And it tucks in. Nice, great, excellent. Glad. And every time you've got a little bit that sticks out over the edge, I suppose you can then tuck that in, and it will also go underneath that too. But you'll be doing it more carefully than I am, probably. And there we go. And keep going. But it's got a sort of a nice, yeah, leafiness to it. Definitely making my head spin today. Just trying to do many different things all at once. That's it. Coming together. I hope yours is too. Oh, exposure looks a bit strange at the moment. You see it? Yes. Right, next one. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Adrian. So that you can get a sense of the model, and then maybe afterwards you might think, maybe it would look good with this sort of paper. Yeah. I mean, all of these I've actually been making through, in many ways, just experimenting with the scraps left over from me showing you with the how I'm doing squares, and I end up with a little offcut, and that's how I'm doing it. Oh. There we go. As I said, I'm not quite sure how well I'm concentrating on this to do it really well, but I hope it's coming together for you. It's just falling apart. I've got a feeling my head's not together enough today to do this piece. We're all human, aren't we? But I'm sure you've got the idea. And I did a video which hopefully is me concentrating a little bit more, because I also ran it to chat, try to assemble it. But in many ways, what I love about this kind of modular work is you have to be completely focused, don't you? And I think that's also what's very relaxing about it. But hopefully, let's do the one I did earlier. But it's a nice shape, and I rather liked it with the colour, with the little bit of white, because you just see some little bits sticking out there. You can see how I've tucked it in there, and on the back, the white. It's really interesting, and this little pattern inside. Yeah. Or maybe you might come up with your own thing. Well, Margaret was finding new things with this, which is brilliant. So happy if this is encouraging others to get inventive too. Excellent, excellent. You'll get the idea. It's fairly secure as well for me anyway. And I certainly appreciating the beauty of strong pieces, because you can put it away and it's not going to fragment and then go, gosh, how did it all work? So I hope you found that relaxing, or at least so focusing that you've forgotten everything else for a little bit. I think we may well need this a lot more. So, oh, you're so welcome. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Stephen. Yeah. Well, I was just trying to create pockets, and then from pockets you can create things, really, which I guess is the whole idea, isn't it? I hope maybe it's something new, but it doesn't matter either way. It's new to me and it's new to you, and that's what's special. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? I think the feeling of like a double little leaf in there. Your eye can go from seeing either a star in the middle or the leaves. Oh yeah, I hope maybe we've been sharing how we've been feeling as well, which is really important. A book which I really love, it's inspired me a lot. I tend to show origami. I think I showed it to you before, but I really like how the suggestion of it's like relaxed conversation while folding, and that seems a really nice thing. It's the experience of being together, and I'm glad to give this continued community and support for each other, keeping everything crossed, and really keep looking after yourselves. I would keep as safe as you can. I think it's a good idea, and I hope you can look after yourself. So next week, just to remind you, it will be midday instead. As I said, I need to be somewhere else at 2. And so that'll be midday next week. The week after that, I'm afraid I am going to be off, but this is about the first time in a year and a half. So I'll be away that week, and I'll have to let you know about other Wednesday sessions. If I'm here, I'll do it. If I'm not, then I'm not. So I don't quite know where to update you all as to where. Maybe if I leave a little kind of within the heading of the previous weekly one as to when the next one is or something, that way you've got a reference. I'll also include things on, if you are on the Facebook, Join the Fold, Origami to Beat Boredom. I'll also put a note there on my Twitter at Dr. Lizzie Burns, which you can see whether you use Twitter or not, would probably say. But maybe I think if on the video, so the weekly fold for whenever the last one was, if I put a little note as to when the next one is and the time. Does that sound okay? Yes. But next week, midday, wild sweet strawberry. It's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? So look after yourselves, and thank you for coming along, and wishing you all good health, and keep folding, keep looking after your mind and body. Bye-bye. Best we can. Thank you.